So I got to be self-aware, and that's the being present with yourself. I got to be
Yes.
aware enough within myself to know that something is different right now than how I usually am. I have a need right now. There's something happening to me emotionally. So I've got to be honest with myself if I'm ever going to even consider reaching out to somebody else.
Right.
And so when I'm honest with myself, I can say, hey, because here's what we do when we're honest with ourselves. We stop, we pause. Oh, here's where I am right now. What is this about? Why am I here? What got me to this place?
Okay.
And then I can start processing that to figure out what are my next steps. But I got to at least be able to know that, one, something is happening right now. Acknowledge that you're in a space. And then from there, you can figure out where it's coming from and what you can do differently. So I know that, 1 plus 1 was 2. What am I going to do with that? Instead of trying to figure out, well, I didn't learn division yet. I don't know what 1 divided by 1 okay, that's fine. Let's deal with 1 plus 1 is 2 and just let the rest figure itself out later, right?
Yeah.
So she over here dying laughing.
Start with the basics.
Start with the basics. Do what you know, because we start to, again, try to figure out everything.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough information, because one of the things that I've learned when it comes to transition and change, and it comes to growth, is that I can't get to step number 5 if I haven't been through step numbers 1 and 2. Some of the physical problems that we have are really because of the stress that we have that we're not dealing with. We just keep piling things on. And so your brain never has a chance to adjust. Your emotions never have a chance to unwind or unload or anything. We just keep piling things on top because, right, there's a thing called Superwoman syndrome.
Come on.
Right? Superman syndrome.
Yes.
I'm going to save everybody from everything.
Yeah.
I got to be everybody's go-to person, but I'm not going to anything about myself.
That's real.
I'm showing up for everybody in life other than me. But at the end of the day, I'm really the only person I have control over. A lot of times we suffer alone because we don't want to tell somebody else, not knowing that the somebody else has an experience that they didn't tell you about, that if you just share your experience, then they will co-sign on that, and then it becomes encouraging for you as well. But if I'm sitting on it, then I miss out on the help that I should be getting, because people can't share themselves with me, and so which means they can't be a resource, and then they also can't point me to other resources as well. Because one of the things that happened in me following these steps and sharing with someone else is that they shared their story that actually normalized my experience.
Yes.
So now it's not just me. So I was having a conversation with an attorney a couple weeks ago, and we're talking about some legal stuff, and she says, okay, so here's the silver lining. I was like, what? She's like, here's the silver lining. Right. And I appreciated that, right? This is the whole attorney. What she do is deal with mess, right? And she's like, here's the silver lining, right? We got this, and this, and this, and this, And so I was like, yes, that is a perspective that we can have, and we can choose to focus on something else versus what seems like doom and gloom and misery in that moment, because whatever it is that we focus on, that's what's going to actually grow. So we are talking about eliminating chronic stress. And when I threw the word in there about eliminating chronic stress, I was like, yeah, we probably gonna get some pushback on that, because reality is sometimes we feel like stress is just inevitable,
right?
And it is, but it doesn't have to be chronic.
Thank you.
And so that's the key, is at what point has my stress level become chronic and I'm just functioning as if this is the way that I'm supposed to live life. And so then I'm excusing things away, and I'm not recognizing that my mind is breaking down, my body is breaking down, and something is actually happening. I just say, oh, okay, well, this is what it is. One of the things that we miss in this process of dealing with transition and change is we're so busy trying to get through it to the end of it that we actually miss the opportunities to learn and to grow and to develop and to be present while we're going through it. Because sometimes we don't get to determine how long the transition and change is going to last.
Wow.
And so if this transition and change happens to last 2 years, are we just going to sign up to be miserable for the next 2 years? Now, we don't know on the outset that that's what we're signing up for, but again, because we can't control the transition, it might really just be years.